A real revolution is not electing a strong man and saying, well, now we have this savior and he's just going to make everything better. A real revolution is focusing on new systems, new processes, new procedures, and migrating people over to them, which is why I've always been a fan of blockchain technology. When I look at it, it just makes sense to me. And the parameterization of a blockchain, you could define an economic, political, and social system any way you want. You could build these systems in a way where they're fraud-free and corruption-free, because you can have a situation where it's transparent to everyone, it's auditable to everyone, it's immutable so nobody can change the records retroactively, and also we can finally see where the money goes and who it goes to and why those decisions were made. Paired with AI, we have a governance utopia that could come. I'd like somebody to be in the driver's seat who has the ability to implement this, who has the vision for this. We can't trust Silicon Valley because they're accountable to no one, and they have become so narcissistic that they literally want to make themselves gods. If you really look at the core of Mark Andreessen and Peter Thiel and these other people, they want to use technology to become immortal, and they want to become a different species than Homo sapiens, and they look down on the rest. You see it in books like Homo Deus. You see it in a lot of the writings that they have, the techno-utopianism that they do, or the worship of the singularity, which effectively is a god. You can't trust people like that, because regardless if they have good ideas or not, because they view themselves as superior to everyone else, they will build a system to perpetuate that viewpoint. You have to build a system that's egalitarian at its core, which has been my life's work. I don't particularly care if I end up broke or in jail. I don't particularly care if I end up one of the world's richest men. It's never mattered to me. I lived in an apartment. You guys saw me do these AMAs. I had giraffes behind me, little stuffed giraffes. And I had just as much, if not more fun than I have here in my current situation. And if I lost it all, it wouldn't matter. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to do a job. And that job is to get this technology into your hands, teach you how to use it, and make sure it works well. And then try to get that technology to rebuild and rewrite the fabric of society. Because I don't want to live in a world of endless cynicism, corruption, a world of subjective truth, and a world of chaos with no rule of law. I want to live in a world of enlightenment, rationality, and a world of constitutional protections. I've always wanted that throughout my entire life. And I don't particularly care about the money. You know, I was just talking to my mom the other day, and she said, why are there so many people on food stamps? You know, all these lazy people on food stamps. And I said, Mom, here's the problem. Your money's worthless. I asked her, you know, that house we bought in Hawaii when we lived there, how much was that house? He said, about 150,000. That house today was $1 million. That's the real estate value. And I say, okay, it's about 7 times more expensive than when you bought it. Tell me, have wages gone up a 7x? I said, that car we drove, that Nissan Axis back in the 90s, how much did that cost? Oh, we bought it used for about $3,000. That same car, used, upgrading for make and model, modern thing, would be about $25,000. So tell me, have wages gone up 8x? No. The money's broken. Every year we print more, and every year your buying power goes down. Your shopping cart gets fewer and fewer items in it. That's why so many people are on food stamps. It's not socialism to solve the fucking problem, Mdami. Stop destroying the quality of money. It's another reason why Bitcoin's where it's at. It's another reason why the cryptocurrency space is where it's at. People who actually understand central banking and understand inflationary monetary policy understand it's a rigged game for the rich against the poor, and it always results in monetary collapse. We have created a system that worships consumption over saving. And the minute you do that, what ends up happening is the system will collapse. And we're in the end stages of it, which is why Trump is throwing his tariffs, and they just lie. He says he's going to use the surplus of his $2,000 giveaway for tariffs to go pay down the national debt. Then he proposes budgets, as do the Democrats, with structural multi-trillion-dollar deficits. And then when people like Thomas Massie and Rand Paul and others come up and they say, this is going to bankrupt us, they go burn their political careers down. There's no honesty in that. There's no sacrifice in that. How can all of us be expected to scale our lifestyle down, but the other guys are expected to grow 11% per year? How is that possible? Every company, when times are tight, has to go through a cost reduction, but the government never does. And there's no accountability to outcomes and no incentives to care about your problems. It's an insane thing. Just thinking about executive compensation, if we paid the president of the United States to get direct foreign investment for the United States, I'd be prepared to give him 2%. If Trump went around the whole world, got $10 trillion of FDI into the United States, and it's provable, and it pans out, I would cut him a check tomorrow for $200 billion, because that's good for all of us, and that's what we do in the private industry. But in the public sector, we just like to pretend that everybody should be paid the same and be virtuous. And then we get surprised when Nancy Pelosi gets $170 million in insider trading. And we get surprised with Kelly Loeffler and all these other problems, which is all surprise Pikachu face that people did what they did. That's why we need a new system. We need new money. We need blockchain in the background, and we need a reset of objective reality. Then we need an airing of grievances. They had to do it in Rwanda. We have to do it in America. We have to bring everybody together. We have to just talk about it and have a national conversation why we all hate each other and why we've gone so far. And we have to have a reset. And then we have to change the way the political class works. It's going to take some time, but I'm still young. You're still young. We got the time, and it's the challenge of our time. If we don't, we're headed for a collapse and civil war. So, is what it is. Okay, so those are just my thoughts on Veterans Day. It's a reflective day. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. You know, people who served this nation, they had to fight for something, right? All right, let's go ahead and talk about it.